Hey there, Bob from Oregon's Constant Gardener. Welcome to the OCGFAM show to you, my YouTube buddies. What's going on? Let me know in the comments. We'll talk about it. So it's Friday. Another spirited discussion we had with Scott. This is part 2 from a couple weeks ago. So I wanted to mention, too, we had a great talk in the comments about the how often to water, that sort of thing. Scott talked about that a little bit himself in the questions for next week. So we'll have that going next week. Maybe we'll do the questions a little earlier in the week so we can get after this watering thing. But this is me and Scott talking about stuff. Watch this, and I'll talk to you after. Conan Cordray. This is a long one. I'm just going to read it. Okay, so you already answered my first question with the announcement of Cyber Monday's sale, LOL. Thanks, Bob. I put in the order. Okay, well, we're going to go. I like to...
You're going to read the whole thing?
Okay.
Yeah, fine.
Okay.
I got the SLF t-shirt, too.
So already answered my first question about the announcement of the Cyber Monday sale. LOL. Thanks, Bob. I put in my order this morning. Finally got an SLF 100 shirt, too. Haha. Next question. I like to use mostly Medusa, Gaia, Athena's, Demeter's, Herc, Zeus, and sometimes a little Hygeia in veg. And he didn't say I said that. And mostly all of the line in flower. I see the Roman regimen, and in veg, the chart says to add a few more products that I only use in flower. Was kind of curious to know if there is any benefit in adding something like Aphrodite's or Persephone at any time in veg. Also, I have to use RO systems. Is there anything I should maybe add a little more of to make up for minerals pulled from the RO system? So maybe I should get remineralizer filter in to see how it works.
Don't do that.
Okay, I do use it. So let's slow down here. So would you use the Roman regimen stuff all the way through veg, or is that just
no?
That's how the chart's set up.
That somebody does.
Yeah,
there's a bunch of people who do, and there's a bunch of people that swear by it. As far as needing to, no. The use of Persephone in early stages, you're going to be able to get the microbial food from that. You're going to promote more bacteria and fungus from growing in your root ball. Maybe what else we got on there? Poseidon, is that part of it?
Pegasus.
Yeah, Pegasus.
Poseidon. Poseidon is one of the additives. And then Hygeia is kind of its own kind of thing, isn't it? Is there a benefit to Hygeia overwetting it?
It really depends on where you're located and what's going on. So Hygeia is if your soil just keeps drying out and it becomes hydrophobic, then great, go nuts. But is it going to benefit you only if you really have a super dry soil?
I got you.
Pegasus will benefit you if you've got really nitrogen-hungry plants that just can't keep green or stay green or get green. Then Pegasus is perfect for early stages.
So you'd probably more experiment with these more so than throwing them in as an additive to let's go crazy and dump all the stuff in.
I'm not going to tell you that you need Persephone at 10 mils in mid-veg. You just don't need it. I mean, will it hurt? Absolutely not. Will it promote some type of microbial growth? Absolutely.
Someone may be getting something from that with flavors or whatever that they like.
Well, the guys that these are the people I call when I'm out. Just so you know. He's like, hey, so,
how's it going?
What are you doing on Wednesday? Because I know that you feed at the beginning all this stuff. So there's a quality level that comes from it.
It does work. But probably they may have got there by experimenting with these and figuring out how to make.
Well, they've been with us for 9 to 12 years and have really dialed this in, and they're the ones that gave us these feeding schedules. Now, with some of these guys, what they'll do is they'll take the Greek or even the Spartan, and they'll take... So you take the Spartan.
Yeah.
Which is the 5.
4 plus the pH.
And then you take the Greek additives in one day, and you do the Roman additives on the next day. And they literally will do one feeding with Greek and one feeding with the Roman additives with Spartan.
Minus the Greek stuff.
And take the Greek out.
Yeah, okay.
Personally, I would be leaving in Demeter's or something, but I would take Kraken out, Aphrodite's out. I would take
Athena's out?
If you're running Triton,
fair enough. Okay.
So you could go back and forth throughout the whole cycle that way. I got guys that do that almost regularly. I dialed it in to where I do back and forth, or I feed the base twice a week, and I feed half the additives one day of the week, and then the other half on another day. So they just split it up. And watch your plants. What are they telling you?
Yeah, because there's probably somebody out there growing with piss and back guano doing great too.
As long as it's phosphorus back guano, because your piss is your nitrogen. So you'd already have your grow. Now you just need your bloom shit.
I guess the point I'm making is that adding love to the whole situation probably helps a lot too. Some of this stuff may not be doing so much for them, but they're so good with their plants that it's working.
Well, that's it. I mean, you got a pig farmer out there that's just crushing it. I mean, he could do better with the 4 than most people do with the Roman, and so it really. It's just, I won't say that you're going to get so much more benefit that you're losing money by not using this in the beginning stage, but you won't be disappointed in the end when you see the difference of something that went all the way through.
You will get some complexity out of it.
Yeah, and, you may not need them all. So like Bob was just saying, experiment with the additives of the Roman. Like, add one in for an entire cycle from the bloom on. See if that was worth it. Did it make a change in your terpene profiles? Did it make a change in your content or what your numbers come out to be? What did it do to your overall pleasure experience of your product? And that's the hardest part is these are guides. These aren't recipes. These aren't feeding schedules. This is a guide of, like, you can do this. Or you can do half of this. Or you can do this. Or you can do this. Why'd you flinch? You never flinch.
You flinched a little.
Yeah, fucking tree hit me in the face.
No! Fair enough.
Yeah.
I flinch. I don't scream when people scare me.
No, but you
I've
wet
trained
yourself.
myself. No, I don't. I go, someone like a ghost comes out from behind the wall and goes, "Wah!" I go.
So I just want to make it clear that Bob has seen ghosts coming out from the wall.
Can we put that off a while?
It's Christmas, man.
All right. So, remineralizer, is that a thing?
There's a product called...
Okay.
Well, no, there's a filter, the remineralizer filter. So basically, it's kind of like a hard water softener.
Uh-huh.
I don't recommend those because you don't know what they're remineralizing.
You don't know what's in there.
Can't say they made. But remineralizer... I wouldn't trust that, especially when there's products out there like Full On or Mineral Matrix or, Azomite for that matter. Put in your own mineral. I don't trust those. They're designed for water softening or water consumption.
Drinking water, and they're designed to make money.
Yeah, and they're not cheap for what you're getting. For 1 to 3 mils of Full On, that... You're not going to get a better...
Well, let me ask you that then. If you're doing RO, would you be more inclined to do Full On?
I like Full On for RO because it's putting all those minerals back in, and it's getting magnesium in there, and it's got sulfate. It's got the gamut, and so to me, that's a great product to put in, or put MagAmp in as an RO supplement for your magnesium-calcium combo, or at least minimally Demeters if you have good, healthy potting soil and everything's looking great.
The Demeters is going to get you that stuff out of your soil.
Well, and the calcium's going to charge the water, so you're not going to go in with the flat water, so you're going to have the calcium. But then that will help move the magnesium out of the root zone.
I gotcha. Okay. I do use a bit of natural CalMag or MagAmp sometimes. It seems to do fine.
Yeah.
So is he's using that as his minerals? The CalMag and the MagAmp. Is that?
Yeah, that's what he's like. I do use that and it's doing fine. So honestly, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. But if you really wanted something that's going to remineralize, Full On's going to be your best bet. Okay. And if you still wanted to use a MagAmp with that, I don't think you'd be overdosing your magnesium at all between the two because they're both pretty gentle.
Okay. Are you saying that it's going to be harder to get magnesium out of my soil if I'm using RO water, or I'm just not going to have magnesium in my water?
You just will have nothing in your water. Right. And the downfall, RO water, there's a whole thing about water. Water structure, living water, dead water. Most water that us as humans are allowed to consume is dead. And when it's unstructured, you got to look up structured water and living water and then understand like how important water truly is. Distilled water is dead, flat, non-ionic water, so it's not going to give you the energy in the root zone. It's all about the energy, and if you have living, structured water, it's creating that energy with everything else that's ionic in the root zone.
It's a thing.
It's another ingredient.
And
we all don't have the same water, so that's the hardest part. People are like, why do you only send the pH up with these sample kits? Well, because 99 out of 100 people will need to bring their pH up. But I'm sorry you live in the one place where your water's 12 coming out of the tap. That's bad. You are in hell because you have really bad pH water. So it's...
Don't drink the water, don't breathe the air.
Yeah. Well, and when you go to, your water's bad. When you go into a town and there's 48 feet of shelving of just bottled water in the grocery store. I mean, when you go to our store here, the water section is like 8 feet, and it's in the soda aisle.
And some of these are like $7 bottles of water.
Yeah, they're like that. Yeah, exactly. The Nordic iceberg shit. And but then you go to like Grand Rapids, Michigan, and you realize in Fred Meyer there, because they have Meyer Thrifty Acres there, and you know that? Oh. So we have Fred Meyers, and they have Myers.
Really?
Meijer, and we're Meijer.
Is it the same guy?
You would think they're literally the same store, but they're not. This guy out here founded it before that guy. That Fred Meyer founded it in Greenville and used to drive around a pickup truck with produce and sell it around the state of Michigan. And this guy was I did all the research on both of them, but it was crazy. They're going, dude, identical stores. Anyway, you go to the Grand Rapids Fred Meyer Thrifty Acres, and literally there's an entire aisle
of just water because
just on both sides because you can't drink the water there.
Man.
And it's like, wow, so water is different everywhere you go, and structuring water is very important.
And the water you have to deal with, you got to build your system somewhat around what you got going with that.
Yeah.
Well, okay. All right. We still got more questions with Conan.
Yeah.
All right, so if you, let's see here. Seems to be fine. Lastly, I heard not to use foliar sprays if you are harvesting to make extracts. Not sure if this only applies to synthetic products, but I use Bloom Chaos as a foliar for about the first 3 weeks of flower. Then I do a week of foliars of plain water to clean any chaos off. Do you know if that's safe enough, or if I should maybe cut the Bloom Chaos foliar feeding when doing extraction runs?
I mean, if you're only doing it for the first couple of weeks in the bloom, not a problem.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing in there that's going to hurt
you.
It's not, if you foliar feed all the way through bloom, you're going to get it, and it's just going to ruin the flavor.
It's little funky little flower thing that you can't be spraying much of anything on without messing it up.
What I recommend is just stop foliar feeding when you see the flower production start, and then go into the root zone. You're doing a great thing by just keep foliar feeding fresh water. It's all soluble, so it all goes away. And I mean, it's not Avid, it's not Eagle 20, it's not, PK
something
boosters.
that's going to hit you with a test or anything like that.
No,
it's just,
you're not going to get a bad lab from it.
This is just spraying anything on there.
Yeah, just anything that will take away from the potential terpene profiles that you're trying to extract from. So, most people are right. I wouldn't be foliar feeding much past the second week in bloom, regardless of what's going on, because...
It's just like a solvent kind of anything is is it like weakening it from just like water? It's like washing it off, or
what do you mean?
The terpenes and those sorts of things. It's just like when you're spraying anything on there.
But if you have buildup of kelp and something on there, and you extract that off of the plant, then that taste is going to carry over to whatever you're trying to grow. So it's not going to hurt or take away from. It's going to put on top of. What was really tasty at one point, now it kind of tastes like the bottle of fertilizer you ate or used. So, I wouldn't foliar feed past week 2. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not going to hurt anything. It's just there's no point.
There's no point in it.
Yeah.
Okay. That's it.
That's that.
Yeah. Okay, that was fun. We sure appreciate that from Scott. That was some good stuff, I think. So we'll be back Monday with the Monday show, and on the Monday show, I figured out what I was going to do while we were doing this is I'm going to show you the portion of the questions from next week's questions where Scott talks about how often to water, which is kind of the topic we were talking on yesterday that was so interesting. So we'll do that, and then next week we'll be talking on some of that stuff, seeing how we can figure that out. So I'm excited. I hope you are too. I love you, and I'll see you next week. For more information about anything on today's show, go to our website, OCGFAM430. And if you buy anything while you're there, use the code FAMHARVEST. It's going to save you 20%, and it's a lot of fun. The OCG Fam Show. It's pretty good. It happens every day. It's the OCG Fam Show. See you on Monday.